What is up, everybody? We are back for another episode of Cane Stakes. I'm here, Spencer Davis, with Aaron Jaffe, Julian Keifitz, and Dan Baristow. Welcome back, everyone. We're going to talk about a little bit of college basketball. We had the national championship on Monday night. A hell of a game, if I've ever seen one. Multiple comebacks from double digits down. Julian, what did you think about the game?
Oh, I mean, I was I was going for the Jayhawks all the way. I think Bill Self earned this thing. UNC, of course, what a run they put on at the end of this tournament. But I think the first half was a little troubling. But as we saw, unfortunately for our Canes, it doesn't really matter how much you're up by at half against this Kansas team. They can turn it on whenever they want. And that's exactly what they did. They gave America the entertaining game that everybody wanted to see. And what a performance from – got a shout out to David McCormick and Christian Braun, both had double-doubles. What a game. I mean, these guys just absolutely turned it on in the second half, outscored. They went into the end of the first half, they were down by 15, but then second half outscored the Tar Heels by 47-29. So this was no joke, and Jayhawks are in this thing.
Yeah, I mean, all credit to UNC. They had a fantastic run the entire tournament, but it seemed like kind of the entire grind that comes with the tournament started to catch up to them in the second half of that game. I mean, Baycott obviously had an injury coming into it with his ankle injury again on the court in the second half. Caleb Love was another guy that got hurt late down the stretch. I mean, just so many games in this entire tournament, how intense they are. It seems like Kansas was ultimately the healthier team. And really the more talented team at the end of the day, too, that came out in the second half. Ojabi was the best player in the tournament for a reason. He won the award, and all credit to Kansas. Congrats for him for a fantastic win.
Yeah, and I mean, not just Abaji. I mean, the balance of scores Kansas had, Jalen Wilson 15, McCormick 15, Braun 12, Abaji 12, Remy Martin 14 off the bench. Like, this was just a team that played together. Were able to regain momentum so many times, and I think this really was a game of runs. It was a game of momentum. Kansas got off to that early 7-0 run. Obviously, UNC followed it up with a big run to close the half, and then Kansas. Credit to Bill Self again. What Julian said. I feel like he's kind of gotten pushed around a little bit in his career sometimes, but this Kansas team just came back. And I think a little weirdly, a part of the game that kind of confused me was UNC actually out-rebounded this side. But they just did not shoot the basketball well, and I think we knew that was going to be a problem for UNC if they didn't shoot well. 31% from field goal, 21% from three. Caleb Love just inconsistent. Had such a good game against Duke, but this night, 1 of 8 from 3, 5 of 24 from field. And it was just an unlucky game for the Tar Heels.
Yeah, that like you said, that second half, Remy Martin really stepped up. He had 14 points on the night, like you said, but 11 of them were in the second half. UNC couldn't shoot down the stretch, just like you said, 21% from 3. Kansas was shooting 35% from 3 and 44% from the field. UNC was making their free throws, but at the end of the day, they just couldn't get it done. Kansas is ridiculous. Like you said, we watched it happen to our Canes, Julian. It was brutal. I was screaming my head off at Remy Martin, and he did to UNC just what he did to us. But I definitely agree with you, Julian. I mean, that's a well-deserved title. Bill Self has been working really hard for a long time at Kansas. It's his 4th Final Four appearance, I believe, 2nd title now. And
no reason to think that the Jayhawks won't be back next year.
Yeah, exactly. I was reading a little bit about Coach Self talking about the 2020 team that got its season canceled because of COVID. And he was kind of saying that this title was for them because like Baji and Brown and McCormick, they were all a part of that team, and they came back and kind of rebuilt and got that title back. So good for them. But, what about Hubert Davis? Let's show some love to the boy. UNC first-year coach, beats Coach K twice, once in the Final Four, once at Cameron Indoor. Both of them his last respective games on those stages. I mean, what can you say about this guy?
Yeah, you could argue Hubert Davis' 2 wins against Duke were the 2 biggest UNC rivalry game wins ever. I mean, to be able to take out Coach K at home in his final home game and then take them out in the Final Four in their first ever tournament matchup ever. I mean, you couldn't have asked for a better story. He probably got the fastest extension of all time. I mean, players clearly love him. He's great with the media. They clearly found a diamond in the rough there with Hubert Davis.
I mean, yeah, definitely. And it is his first season, and I think that was highlighted a few times. Sometimes this UNC team during the season was very inconsistent, got sloppy. Our Canes, actually, we killed them at one point in the season. And I mean, and we saw Hubert Davis in his first season taking him this far. I think they're going to be back. And I just think another aspect of that is the fact that UNC 13 turnovers in this game. One that last one coming on the last play of the game. But I think over time he's going to become better, and he's going to get that championship one day.
Yeah, definitely. You said the Canes beat UNC earlier in the year. We did. We beat them by 28, and we lost to Kansas by 27. So, I mean, technically we're the second best team in the country. I don't make the rules.
I like that logic.
I did see they actually released end of season rankings for men's basketball, and we got voted. It was coaches poll. We got voted 16th.
Hey.
We're the 16th overall. Maybe I can share my screen here.
Regardless, that's
impressive.
Yeah, we were 16, below Tennessee and Auburn, above Kentucky and Wisconsin.
So now the questions, with Baylor winning last year and Kansas winning this year, is the Big 12 taken over as the conference of college basketball?
I think so.
That might very well be the case.
They have so many teams making the tournament now. I mean, the Big Ten had more this year, but what did the Big Ten do with their teams?
Yeah, exactly.
Really. You've probably seen that meeting lost to St. Peter's in the Sweet 16. I mean, Baylor was incredible last year. Kansas was the same level of offensive talent and really good defensive unit. And that's a common theme with a lot of these Big 12 teams. Look at Texas Tech and TCU as well.
Yeah,
these teams have really built something over there that these conferences are going to have to replicate.
Yeah, man. TCU gave Arizona a really good fight, and Texas Tech, I mean, ran into Duke. Not too much you can do there. They played a good season and a good game against Duke, but
Big 12 is turning into a serious rival.
Absolute powerhouse.
Yeah.
All right, that's a wrap on the college basketball season, unfortunately. But I think the Canes had a good year, man.
Canes will be back. We will
really
be back.
Can't complain. We'll be back.
It's got to help us get some recruits this year too.
Yeah,
handy too.
Definitely. And I mean, Coach L is just awesome. I'm hoping Isaiah Wong stays. That would be so huge for the program if he stays. I'm pretty sure Jordan Miller already declared that he's staying. So it'll be interesting.
Future's bright. The future's bright here.
Bright in Miami. No doubt. All right, Julian, I think we got a little opening day action.
Guys, we got to talk about it. I think this should be a national holiday. It is MLB opening day tomorrow. The only a slight little thing that it's a little unfortunate, but Yankees, Red Sox, and Mariners Twins have been postponed. Red Sox and Yankees will open their season on Friday in the Bronx. But guys, my Mets are opening what could be this could be it. This could be the championship season for the New York Mets. Well, we're going to open with in DC. Unfortunately, Jacob deGrom. Yep, let's Spencer. I'm sorry to tell you, man. I think we're gonna take.
It's not gonna go well. I know.
No. You guys got your ring. You guys got your ring.
Exactly.
I could not be more excited for the MLB season. So many storylines and things to get into about this. Vladimir, I mean, first of all, the rise of the Toronto Blue Jays. They've become the team to beat in the American League. Not just in, obviously not just in their division, but the American League at large. And I think right now, in a lot of baseball people's minds, it's the Blue Jays and the Dodgers right now who are likely to be going, at this point, as opening day looms less than 24 hours away. People are thinking it's, Dodgers in the National League, Blue Jays in the American League. But either way, it's going to be an incredible season. So many storylines to catch up with. But, tomorrow I'm going to be going all in for my Mets.
Yeah, so you're talking about those Blue Jays a little while ago. I mean, they're in one hell of a division in the AL East. It'll be really interesting to see. It's always going to be a dogfight every year. I mean, the Yankees are the Yankees. The Red Sox picked up Trevor Story. And then Tampa Bay Rays, no matter how much money they're spending, they're going to be right. They're going to find a way to win baseball games.
The Tampa Bay Rays just have talent, so much talent on that ball club.
Wander Franco, I think, is one of the most not-talked about young guys in the entire MLB. That guy just makes contact. He's going to be a stud in a couple of years. I think he's
so good.
Really interested to see how he does. But the Blue Jays, I mean, their offense is incredible. It was incredible last year. They just couldn't get it together. They just missed the playoffs. Vladdy Jr. is, I'm sure, going to be in the MVP conversation. So it'll be interesting to see how that division kind of winds up.
I mean, I think the Blue Jays have 3 potential MVP candidates on their team. Vladdy, of course, but then we have Bo Bichette at shortstop, and over in the designated hitter / outfield slot, Teoscar Hernandez is just a beast for the Toronto Blue Jays. And I think I'm really, as a Mets fan, I'm so excited that a team's going to be really challenging the Yankees. But I think my hat's off to the Toronto Blue Jays. I wish them well this season until they I hope we maybe run into my Mets in the World Series. But Toronto Blue Jays are going to be incredible. Then, of course, you've got to get into the LA Dodgers. The Dodgers, this is just maybe one of the greatest lineups that a team has been fielding to start opening day. Of course, it's Freddie Freeman is really, the new piece that everybody's excited about. But this team is just, the LA Dodgers are just going to be the team to beat in the National League. Freddie Freeman, Max Muncy, Justin Turner, Trey Turner, and then the pitching, we've, Clayton Kershaw, Walker Buehler, Julio Urias. This Dodgers team is absolutely loaded, and they are going to be the team to beat in the National League.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like a few years ago, like we were discussing Dodgers and Yankees. These big franchises, they're going to be up there. But I mean, now I'm just not so confident in my Yankees anymore. I mean, we got Rizzo, we got Judge, Stanton, Garrett Cole, but I just don't think I don't think that this team has what it takes to compete in this stacked AL East. And I mean, I'm definitely nervous for my Yankees.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm a little nervous for my Nats too. We're 4-11 in the preseason. We did have like a 13-1 win the other day.
Oh, it was 14-0.
14-0.
Yeah,
okay.
14-0.
But I mean, it's spring training, so it doesn't mean much. I am excited. I'm not a huge baseball guy, but I will be watching Astros Angels tomorrow night. I want to see Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah. And speaking of
the first game in the season against those trash can bangers down in Texas.
The Houston Asterisks.
Yeah, exactly.
We're gonna. Yeah, Aaron, go ahead.
Speaking of the Angels, I've kind of always, ever since I got my hands on a Mike Trout rookie card, I've kind of, the Angels have always been my second team. So I'm hoping they can do something this year with Trout back.
The Halos, if you're looking for a good future bet, take either the Angels or Mariners to win the American League West. I think this is the year where the Astros, the chickens come home to roost for the Houston Astros. I think they're over. And I think the AL West belongs to the Angels and Mariners. We're going to see this season.
I mean, it's crazy. Like, for a lot of outside fans of baseball, when they see a team with Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani on it, kind of the two most marketable faces in the entire sport. Yeah. And this team really, I mean, Trout's only had, one playoff appearance in his career?
And he got swept.
Right. I mean, I know the pitching hasn't always been great there. There hasn't been a lot of great hitters outside of Trout until Ohtani's. Kopio have come and gone. But I can very well see it. I mean, I'm just hungry to see Trout in the playoffs. I think I'm not speaking for just myself in that. And then I have one other question for you, Julian.
Go ahead.
As a Mets fan, I'm sure it's been a tough last few years with everything, the change of ownership, the great pitching, but lack of hitting. Is this the year for the Mets?
I've got to think so. If it's not, if I don't believe that, you got to believe. You got to believe. That's my team's motto. And Jacob deGrom is going to be, unfortunately, he's the best pitcher in baseball. He's going to be missing the first 4 weeks of the season, which is it's so unfortunate just for the game, I think, because he's such a talent on the diamond. But when you have Max Scherzer, Max Scherzer will be toying the rubber for us on Friday because he has a hamstring issue. The team's making sure that he's going to be healthy. But when you can rely on Max Scherzer is your next ace up, I mean, I don't really have much of a worry for the Mets pitching. We're bringing in some new position players. I think this team is Pete Alonso is just an absolute stud. We have Alonso, McNeil, Lindor. Of course, I think this is Lindor's All-Star season with the Mets. His first of what I hope are many All-Star seasons. So I think the sky's the limit for the Mets this season.
Good stuff. It'll be an exciting day tomorrow for sure. Absolutely. And we also got another big event coming up tomorrow. We got the Masters 2022, and
Tiger do it.
Despite being in a car accident, a few months ago, Tiger will be showing up and playing. Before we get into the field at general, what do you guys think? You think Tiger can make the cut? You think Tiger can make the final round? You think Tiger can win?
Look, I don't think he's going to win the whole thing. I love to believe he's going to make the cut, and I think he will. I think at plus 120, you were saying, Spencer. It's going to be interesting. I like Luke Thomas personally. So it's going to be interesting.
All right. So I'm going to be the bad guy here. One of my really close buddies, my roommate, huge Tiger Woods fan. And I've had to tell him the same thing that I'm about to tell you guys. This isn't the year for the cat. I do not think he's making the cut. I do not think he's going to be close. I don't think it's going to be particularly close if he makes the cut. I mean, that type of injury, he was already what happened in 2019 was nothing short of miraculous. It was incredible. It was vintage Tiger. But besides that, in the past 10 years, it's been tough to really see too much of Tiger, what he was. This isn't, and the car injury on top of it, it's going to be tough for him to turn around. I know Masters is his best course and all, but once again, I hate to be the breaker of bad news. I do not see Tiger Woods having much success this weekend.
You know what? I'm not a golf fan, really. Gotta love Tiger. Gotta show respect. To my knowledge, he is the GOAT when it comes to golf. But you know what? I'll be rooting. I hope he does well. But you know what? When it comes to golf, my limited knowledge of golf, my guy tomorrow, I'll be cheering him on. It's Brooks Kepka, man. I love Brooks Kepka. He's a Florida native. Just a great golfer. I've been following him. I heard about him when he first was coming up in 2017. So I've been following Kepka for a little bit. And again, limited knowledge of golf, but let's go Brooks Kepka.
Yeah, that's who my boy Ovechkin picked to win the Masters. So I like that pick. I agree with both of you. Unfortunately, I want to see Tiger play well. I think it's good for the sport. I think it's fun. I think it's exciting. But I don't think it'll happen. I think he's probably going to miss the cut. There's a chance he comes out and plays some decent golf and makes the cut, but I don't think he'll top 20, top 30. I think it'll be a pretty average week for Tiger.
Yeah.
I'm looking at a couple long shots for the Masters. I like Will Zalatoris at plus 3,500. Normally when you come to the Masters and play that course at Augusta, your first time is just brutal. It takes a long time to understand how to read those greens and hit those shots. But Zalatoris finished second last year in his first ever Masters. So I think he's going to come out with a vengeance and could put up a big showing. He's a bomb off the tee. And this is a second shot tournament. So if he can make some good approaches, it'll be interesting to see what he can do. I also like Colin Murakawa. He's, in my opinion, best iron player in the PGA Tour right now. I don't have a line on him, but it's going to be a fun weekend. Masters is always exciting. I will be watching as soon as I wake up tomorrow.
So if you are room for a little bit of chaos, I mean, Bryson D Chambeau got clowned a couple years ago for calling the Masters, what was it, a par 68 for him. Then he absolutely wasn't in contention
Yeah.
at all. I mean, he takes a much more analytical approach to golf when he's tries to hit it as far as he can in a lot of situations. A lot of golfers don't like him. I mean, he doesn't seem like a very likable guy, but I mean, he's one hell of a golfer. I can very well see him right here in the thick of it in the Masters this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, Bryson hits it further than anyone in the PGA Tour. So if he can get his irons going, it's always fun to. I used to really not like him, but he's made some content on YouTube, and he seems like a funny guy. He seems pretty chill, but he definitely ruffles some feathers of the traditional golf establishment. On the other side of things, maybe a little more exciting than golf, we have a big UFC card this weekend. Dan, I know you're super excited. Our main 3 fights on the main card are going to be Khamzat Chimaev versus Gilbert Burns, Aljamain Sterling versus Peter Yan 2, and Alexander Volkanovski versus the Korean Zombie. Dan, what are you most looking forward to?
I am so excited to watch Khamzat Chimaev destroy Gilbert Burns on Saturday. I got introduced to Khamzat Chimaev over a year ago. It was during COVID. He was fighting Gerald Mearshart. I knew a little bit about him. I heard there's hype. He was undefeated, come from other leagues. My one buddy's like, just place a bet on him. What was it under 1.5 rounds? I think Chimaev's gonna finish him wrong. Like, all right, whatever. I bet on him. The very first punch Chimaev throws knocks the guy out. I immediately was in love. I watched him against Li Jingliang back in the early November. Absolutely dominated him, carried him up, picked him to Dana White and said, "Give me better fighters." He is a killer. Every story I've heard about him is of being an absolute training machine. And I think he's going to be the guy to knock off Kamaru Usman, and I'm so excited to be a witness for it.
Yeah, man.
I think he gets
said that to me.
Pretty well.
Sorry, Aaron, you got it.
No, I'm just gonna agree with Dan here. I think he gets it done pretty convincingly. I'm excited to see him.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, Dan, if you had told me he was gonna beat Usman 2 fights ago, I wouldn't. Even after the Mearshart fight, I wouldn't have believed you. I watched his first 2 fights, and yeah, he's insane. He is an absolute monster. His first 4 fights, I think he's outstruck his opponents 268 to 2. He's only had 2 strikes landed on him. He's like, his output ratio is like 11 to 1. It's like the highest in UFC history.
His wrestling is unbelievable.
He's
perfect. It's flawless.
He really is. But I think I really like Chimaev, and I really think he's going to win. But I'm putting $10 on Gilbert Burns because Vegas is disrespecting this man. I'm all on the Khamzat hype train, but Gilbert Burns is a IBJJF world champion.
Yeah, he's world class with this jiu-jitsu.
And he almost knocked out Kamaru Usman with 1 punch.
Yeah.
Granted, I think he's probably going to get chinned. I think Khamzat's going to finish him. But we haven't seen Khamzat go an extended fight. We haven't seen him past the 2nd round. We haven't seen him against a good grappler, a good defensive grappler. So it'll be interesting. I think Khamzat wins, but I think Burns is getting overlooked. I also really like we have 2 title fights. I think we can all kind of agree the main event, Volkanovski's probably going to beat TKZ.
Yeah.
I really like Korean Zombie. His name is what it sounds like. He walks forward with no regard for getting punched in the face like a zombie. But Volk is the best featherweight of all time, in my opinion. He's just so good. He's so long. He's so diverse with his striking. Anyway,
can't argue against his record, Volk. I mean, he's kind of lapping that competition. The Korean Zombie was less of deserving of a title shot and more of all that's really left for Volkanovski to fight. And then the other fight, Yan Sterling. It's a rematch of an illegal knee that Peter Yan landed on Sterling in a fight about a little over a year ago, I think.
Yeah.
I think Jan's gonna win. He's a heavy favorite as well. He was dominating that whole fight last time, and I think how Aljamain Sterling's treating the bout he got is gonna motivate Jan a little bit more to kind of smash his face in.
Yeah, I agree. I think Jan's gonna win, but I also think from what I've seen on Twitter recently, I mean it's Twitter, so but it feels like Jan is underestimating Sterling. Because you're right, he was dominating that fight. He won at least 3 of 4, maybe if not 4 of 4 rounds. And even then, normally the first round, he's just testing out the other fighter. So it wasn't even like he really lost the round. But I think if Aljamain Sterling gets anybody on the ground, you're in trouble. I don't know if you watched the Corey Sandhagen fight, but Corey Sandhagen's, since losing to Aljamain Sterling, has knocked out, I think, 3-4 different fighters. And Aljo choked him out in 1 minute and 30 seconds because he just got him right on the ground and drowned him and choked him out. So I think Jan will win, but once again, it's kind of like the Burns thing. For the line that it's at, I think I'm going to throw a couple bucks on Aljo.
I would say if I was to pick any of the underdogs to come out on top, it would be Sterling. I mean, he was a champion for a reason. I mean, he is world class especially if he gets on your back. But I do think the other two are a little bit more safer. I mean, Burns, once again, I mean, you were talking about it, world-class jiu-jitsu guy. I mean, there's a reason why he's beaten some of the best fighters in the world already. It'll be a good fight, but I'm excited for the statement my guy's going to make.
Yeah, it'll definitely be a fun weekend of fights. That'll be Saturday night. Now let's look at some bets, boys. How did you guys do last weekend? I was 2 for 2. I had Kansas beating Villanova and the Oilers beating the Kings. What about you guys?
I was 1 for 1. I was with you. I had Kansas over Villanova, so feel good about myself. 100%.
Yeah, 1-on-1. You go, Dan?
Oh yeah, I went 1-1. I barely covered the Rockets, and then I did lose my other one as well. Can't go 2-0. I'm allergic to it.
Yeah, I had UNC going to the championship with Nova, but Nova lost to Kansas, who did go on to win.
All right, let's see what you got, Dan. Who you betting on?
All right, so I was just talking about it. Under 1.5 rounds for Chimaev Burns. I think this got if Burns was to miraculously beat Chimaev, I do think it would be in kind of something crazy where Chimaev doesn't, like, he is underestimating him a little bit because Burns is the real deal. But I think if Chimaev can get him on the ground, working him a little bit, get on his back, he's the bigger fighter. He can end this very quickly, and that's what he's been doing. So that's my pick. Chimaev Burns under 1.5 rounds.
I like that a lot. I have a couple bets. I added a future bet thanks to Julian. I just took it in real life as well. I took the Angels to win the AL West at plus 350.
We've got a smart man on our hands.
But yeah, I couldn't believe they're plus 350. But it's got the Caps at plus 1.5 tonight. Game's about to start. We're playing the Lightning tonight. The Caps have looked atrocious recently. I mean, we bounced back pretty well in March, but start of April has been ugly, and it's a must win. And I like the line for plus 1.5. We lose by 1, I make a little bit of money. I also got Mike Malott on the undercard of the UFC fight this weekend. He's a Dana White Contender Series guy, taking on Mickey Gall, pretty average grappler. I think he's going to wipe the floor with him. Aaron, how about you, bud? What you got this week?
Bringing you guys some football, some soccer.
Little football.
Tottenham plus 125 money line over Aston Villa. This one's on Saturday. Villa, I'll start with them, and then I'll talk a little bit more about Tottenham. Winless in their last 3. They're really struggling with Gerrard to establish a little bit of consistency. And Tottenham coming off an emphatic 5-1 win against Newcastle, 18 goals in 5 games. Antonio Conte has this side playing unbelievable football. They have an identity once again. The wingbacks are looking good. Doherty can play right or left. He's playing so well. 2 goals and 4 assists in his last 6 Premier League matches. A midfield duo of Pierre-Emile Højbjerg and Rodrigo Betancourt are looking really good. And then up top, of course, you have Harry Kane looking just unbelievable. not just a goal scorer. He's proving how good he is as an all-around footballer. His passing just incredible. And then on the wing, Heung-min Son and Dejan Kulusevski both firing for Tottenham, and even Steven Bergwijn off the bench. This team's looking great. I think at plus 125, there's no reason not to take him here.
COYS.
Coys, come on, you
Coys.
Spurs.
Let's do it. And then to wrap things up, my best bet. We were just talking about it. Spencer made a good call. I think this is the year the Angels get back, and I think that is going to be through an AOS crown. I think, like I said, this is the year that chickens are going to come home to roost for the Houston Astros. I think that starts tomorrow. Obviously, that this baseball is the longest season of any sport, 162 games. But I think this is going to be a big statement series to begin the season for the Angels. It's going to be Shohei Ohtani for Los Angeles. His abilities don't need to speak for themselves. They do speak for themselves. And then misspoke there. And then on the Astros side, it's going to be lefty Framber Valdez. I think the Angels, this offense is just stacked, and it's going to be the first. This is going to be the first full season where Trout's going to stay healthy. Ohtani's going to be back to Ohtani form like we saw last season. MVP.
Knock on wood.
Absolutely. Then we got Rendon at the hot corner, Jared Walsh at first base, the young, exciting outfielder, Joe Adell, David Fletcher at shortstop. I think this Angels team is absolutely stacked. I think they come out firing and attacking Framber Valdez tomorrow, and I think they're going to take it. And if you want a good parlay, I would take Angels minus 130 on the money line, and then for the run line, I would take the Angels to win by more than one run. I think they come out swinging.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, guys. That is one more episode of Canes Takes Down. Thank you for joining us. It was a pleasure as always, and we will see you